Muhammad Yunus, a Nobel Prize-winning economist, known as the banker to the world's poor. Already one of Bangladesh's best-known names as the founder of the Grameen Microfinance Bank. But at 84 came his greatest challenge. An uprising in Bangladesh last August saw protesters overthrow the Awami League government. Thousands stormed the Prime Minister's residence, an outpouring of anger against a leader who'd been in power for 15 years. Sheikh Hasina's accused of election rigging, corruption and human rights abuses, and of jailing her opponents. Under her rule, she accused Muhammad Yunus of sucking blood from the poor. He was charged on counts including embezzlement, all of which he denies. A voice for the opposition, the student leaders who deposed Sheikh Hasina picked Muhammad Yunus to unite a divided nation.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I'm back. There's a lot of work to be done.
How's he managed that? Almost a year into his time running Bangladesh, we asked him, and about what he's done to stamp out corruption.
As chief advisor, I have full confidence in our Anti-Corruption Commission that they're doing the right thing.
Muhammad Yunus has been in the UK to receive an award from King Charles for promoting harmony. What are his thoughts on his country's investigation into the British MP Chulip Sadi, who's accused of illegally receiving land from her aunt, Bangladesh's former PM? Something she denies. How are Trump's tariffs impacting Bangladesh, a country which produces much of the world's clothes? And what about the Rohingya refugee crisis on his doorstep, one which has largely been forgotten? So, Professor Yunus, you were saying yesterday, I hear, that your first appearance on the BBC was as a young boy.
Exactly. I was participating in the 8th International Jamboree of the Boy Scouts in Canada.
A city of tents rises at Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, where 10,000 youths...
So I was on the way back, and somebody knew me, connected with BBC. He said, oh, we'll arrange an interview for you in Bangla program.
What did you learn from the Boy Scouts that you still use as a lesson today?
Lots of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Be prepared, that's what they say.
What does getting such an honour from the British monarch mean to you?
Having an honour from the King is a fantastic opportunity to highlight the kind of work we are trying to do. And the theme and the subject of the award is harmony. That's precisely what we need in Bangladesh right now. It's a freedom of speech, it's a democracy, human rights, all the great things we are always dreaming about. I've never had it in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is an interesting country. Half the population is under the age of 26. So there's a young population, and they led the whole uprising and made it happen. So what Bangladesh is doing could be an example globally, saying that yes, young people can wake up and say enough is enough. We want to have a different kind of world for ourselves.
And yet, with the greatest respect, they picked an 84-year-old man to be the chief advisor.
Yes, I tried to persuade them that that may not be a good choice, but somehow they kept on insisting.
One of Keir Starmer's MPs, Chulip Sadi, is the niece of Bangladesh's former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
Good evening.
Authorities in Bangladesh, already investigating her aunt, have issued an arrest warrant for the Labour politician, accusing her of corruption, something she strongly denies. So the UK government's advisor on ministerial standards carried out an investigation into Chulip Sadi. She was cleared. She says that your anti-corruption commission hasn't produced any evidence against her. Why is the ACC, the Anti-Corruption Commission in Bangladesh, therefore still investigating her?
Well, it's again a court matter. Court will decide that enough materials are available to pursue the case or cancel.
But you are the chief advisor in Bangladesh. You came in saying that you wanted to stamp out corruption. So I just repeat that question really, because the head of the ACC says that this isn't an unsubstantiated investigation. I'll just take the quote here. He said the allegations are by no means targeted and baseless, and yet Sadiq's legal team say that they haven't seen any evidence. In fact, they say she hasn't even spoken to them.
Well, the legal procedure needs the lawyers get together, exchange information with each other. That's why
But she's saying that hasn't happened. So
well, it's not too late yet. I mean, it's a procedure always takes time.
let's talk about aid. Bangladesh has been one of the top 10 recipients of UK aid. We've heard in recent weeks in the spending review that the foreign aid budget is going to be dramatically cut. How is that going to affect the people of Bangladesh?
If it's not available, we still will continue to make our own efforts in doing things, increasing our own income.
How much of a blow is it, Professor Yunus?
It's a big blow. The British one? No. This is part of the life that goes on, ups and downs. Today it reduced, tomorrow that will increase, depending on situations what you have here. But we have to deal with the situation. Like suddenly we hear that USAID stopped all the money completely, 100%, done, finished. And we see around what happened. Major things that happen in Bangladesh. Rohingya issue that we have, all the money is cut off, zero.
So the US funding cuts are the biggest blow?
Absolutely. Just one case, the USAID, not all the money. Just giving the case of USAID, that's an agency which deals with foreign aid from US government. The whole Rohingya issue suddenly became a terrible news for us. And then ICDDRB, the most leading international research organization which brought us a cure for cholera and many diseases globally, 100% of the money cut off. They have no money to pay their salary. There's nearly 500 researchers working for that, top-level researchers, international researchers, no money. They can't even get the salary, forget about the research money and so on. So shocking things that happen. But we have to deal with that. Rohingyas cannot disappear just because the money disappears.
Close to 1 million Rohingya refugees who arrived in Bangladesh from 2017 onwards continue to live in limbo in Cox's Bazar. They fled persecution in neighbouring Myanmar. Reliant on aid, they remain stateless. It is a huge crisis, a refugee crisis that in some ways the world has forgotten.
Sure.
I've been to the camps in Cox's. I've seen with my own eyes how people have no freedom, they struggle for food, food aid's continuing to be cut, and children there do not really get a proper education. This is a crisis on your doorstep. Why aren't you doing more to help them?
Us helping? Well, we are busy trying to solve the problem, internal problem that we have. This is a responsibility taken by the international community.
But it's in Bangladesh, and you are someone who's always, you're a Nobel Prize winner, you've always prided yourself on helping the most vulnerable.
Sure.
So the question again is, why aren't you doing more?
I am doing my best. I just visited along with the Secretary General of the United Nations the Rohingya camps and met over 100,000 of them around us, discussing what needs to be done and made appeal to the world. Facilitate this for them to go back. Repatriation is the only solution to that. People are busy taking care of their food and daily thing, but not talking about how to get them back to their own home. They are not destitute people.
But at the moment, Professor Yunus, it's not a solution because of what's happening in Myanmar. And I've spoken to people who would be absolutely terrified to go back because of the military junta there. So why can't you do more to ingratiate the Rohingya population and integrate them into Bangladesh?
That will not be a solution.
Why not?
Already people are very hostile to the Rohingya people who are living with them around the camps. They're hostile because they see that it's international money coming to them. They're quote-unquote kind of taking it easy. Outside the camp, people have to work hard.
But you've seen with your own eyes how dire the situation is.
The policy for Bangladesh is not to let them come in and settle down. We have enough of problem for ourselves. We can't take a whole new population coming into Bangladesh.
Even though they're suffering?
Yes, that's why we gave them the accommodation. We didn't say don't enter. We could have stopped them at the border. We said, please, we took them, and international community assured that they will take care of them, and they assured that they'll take them into their own countries. They divided the numbers, which country will take whom.
Bangladesh has a growing economy, It's the world's second largest exporter of ready-made garments after China.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time.
On President Trump's so-called Liberation Day, the country was hit hard. Just tell me where we're at when it comes to discussions between Bangladesh and the US on tariffs.
We were shocked, just like any other country, trying to see what does it mean, and we are slapped 37% tariffs on that. So we said, what does it mean for our business? Because this is a very important item for our economy. We are the biggest exporter. Our biggest importer is United States for the garments. So what happened to that because of the tariff and so on? Then while we were discussing, ideas came, well, this is a shocking news, but it could be also an opportunity to revisit our own policies and see where we can have new opportunities doing business with the United States and so on.
Let's talk about the future of your country.
Okay.
You've called for elections. You're the interim leader of the country. You said that the elections should be inclusive and participatory, but one criticism has been that you're excluding the Awami League, the party, of course, of the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, from taking part in the elections. Why are you not letting them take part?
We have explained it many times. I'll explain it again. First of all, inclusiveness, whether the election will be inclusive if Awami League is not participating. Recently, resident coordinator of the United Nations in Dhaka, she has explained it very well. She said the inclusiveness doesn't mean a particular party. Inclusiveness means participation of all people. So as long as all people are participating, it's inclusive.
But there are many people in the country who still support the Awami League. We know that.
Let them decide whether they want to vote or not, but they're available.
They won't be able to vote for a party, a candidate from the Awami League, though, will they?
As long as they are voters, they are free to vote.
But not for an Awami League candidate, unless the Awami League are allowed to take part.
We have not banned Awami League yet.
So there is a possibility, you're saying, that
No, first of all, to make it clear, Awami League is not banned. Activities of Awami League has
which
been
would
banned.
include an election.
And temporarily. Whether the election will be included or not, it depends on the election commission to decide.
So there's a possibility then that they could be on the ballot in the next election?
Again, it will be the decision made by the election commission.
Okay. Let's talk about, since we're talking about the Awami League, Sheikh Hasina. She fled the country. Obviously then you took over. She's taking refuge in India. But ultimately, you want her back, don't you? You want to try her for all the crimes that she's accused of.
Trial has already begun. So the trial is active, it's going on. And it will go to the legal process, looking for her to come back to face the trial and so on, use the international system, how to get the accused person back to your country and so on. So these are, again, the legal procedures.
But how are you going to get her back? I mean, you meet Modi a lot.
Use the international system. We don't have any power to grab her.
But are you not frustrated with Modi for allowing her to stay there for so long? Given all that you accuse her of and all that the country has gone through under not just her, but her associates who are also accused of crimes against humanity, of corruption, all the other things.
It's not about hosting her in India. That probably will not bother Bangladeshis very much. It is her voice which creates problem. She's always addressing people in Bangladesh using airwaves to address that.
So you think India should do more to stop her being able to make those addresses and speeches?
You said it, yeah.
Just on that point, since the interim government took over, hundreds of supporters or sympathisers of the Awami League have been arrested. Some people would ask, are you doing exactly what they did in silencing critics?
It will be shame to say that, because if you compare interim government with Awami League government, I don't think you understand Bangladesh, you understand the reality of Bangladesh. What is Awami League and what is the interim government.
These aren't my words, these are the words
somebody's done that. I'm just saying that you have been to Bangladesh. So that's absolutely not correct.
And just on that, the other criticism that some have had, even a Labour MP raised this in Parliament at the end of last year, is incidents of violence towards minorities, notably the Hindu minority in the country. There's been a lot of concern in India. Are you doing enough to protect Hindus?
This has been answered probably a million times. We said invite all the journalists to come identify those places where Hindus have been killed, or how they was killed, and what happened to them, and so on. This is all fake news coming up one after another. So we said, come and count them. We're here. We are not running away.
So what about the Hindu monk who was attacked? Did that not happen then, for example?
Well, if there's one Hindu monk was attacked, go and law will take care of itself. It's not about massive killing and so on. That's a completely different picture. So you don't confuse between the legal issues and the violence issues and something else. So we're trying to make people aware of the reality of it.
Do you think you've done a good job as interim leader?
People will judge. I don't know. I'm not a guy who runs a country. Suddenly I'm pushed into it and I'm doing my best. That's all I can say.
You've done a lot in your life. What would you say has been your greatest achievement since you've taken over running Bangladesh?
Try to calm down. Enormous amount of outburst of hatred and outburst of anger. It's an impossible task for 180 million people, and mostly young people, as I mentioned. When the outburst comes, you burn everything. So what I would say, our presence, me and my colleagues in the interim government, cool it down. They're not killing each other. They're getting back to work. They're going back to the factories. They're going back to the export increased. Instead of export declining and getting to zero gradually, it's increasing from the previous level. Our empty banks are filling up again. Our foreign exchange reserve is going up and up.
There has been some criticism, though, over the rise of activities of some hardline Islamist groups. What would you say to people who are concerned that your government is sympathetic to Islamists?
Our government is not Islamist sympathizer or something else. We are trying to create a democratic environment. Everybody has a right to speak out. Say your thing. That's what they do.
Just finally, because we have to wrap up, you talked about wanting to create a new civilization.
That's right, I still do.
Tell me about that. What is wrong with the current civilization and what should a new civilization look like?
I've been trying to understand why we're having all these problems. And every time I look at it, I come back to the same thing. We have created over these years a wrong civilization, a self-destructive civilization. We are so proud of all the things happening in the world, the economic growth and so on, fantastic opportunities coming up, technology coming up. To do what? The process that we have created, it will be a process where all the wealth of the world will be ending up with owned by one person. If this system continues. I said, that's not a viable system. It's a system which will collapse by itself. All these things together, this will destroy itself. I said, before we get into that situation, why don't we create a new civilization? And that's why I describe a civilization with 3 zeros, where it will be zero net carbon emissions, zero wealth concentration, zero unemployment. That's it.
And will you stay on longer in the job?
We have declared the election. After the election, new government comes.
And then you retire.
Thank you very much. No, retire. Go back to my work.
I think that's a perfect note to end the interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.